Hey fam, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50, mind, body, soul. And in this episode, I am here to give you information so that you will be able to utilize this information because the time is going to be going back on Sunday. It's going to be time to fall back. Now, this has been my personal experience, and I'm sure probably half the people that's listening to this, at least half, it's a struggle to adjust to the time change. You know, when you feel like you're losing the hour, which you are, there's certain things that you can do before the time goes back that will help you to make that adjustment, and you won't find yourself exhausted for weeks after the time has changed. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna tell you, it has been, until I learned these principles, it was one of the hardest things that I had to learn how to do, so that I could be prepared for that. It was exhausted for weeks, not just days, but for weeks. So I am going to give you some information that is going to prepare you for the time change that's coming up on this coming Sunday. You know, we all have to make the transition to daylight savings time, and this is going to help you to minimize the disruption of your internal clock, which we call the circadian clock inside our bodies. So stay tuned, get some tips, start them tonight, and so you can be prepared for the time change. It's time to fall back, y'all. This is Master Coach G, and I will see you on the inside. Hey, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50, mind, body, soul. And in this episode, I am going to be sharing information for you to be able to make the adjustments for the change that's coming about, daylight savings time, and we have to fall back 1 hour. Yes, it's time, that time of the year where we have to fall back 1 hour. I'm going to share some tips on how you can prepare your body for the change so that you don't feel exhausted for weeks. Seriously, because I know me personally, before I learned these principles, I would feel exhausted for weeks. It's like, you know, you feel like you're losing an hour, but it feels like you're losing like a whole day, you know, when it comes to your sleep. So I'm going to be sharing some information that's going to prepare you for the time change, and that's going to help you with your overall wellness as well. So we do have to prepare for the transition into daylight savings time. Okay, so I want to help you to minimize the disruption of your body's internal clock, which we call the circadian rhythm. Yes, and it is completely thrown off by the time change. You know, honestly, I just wish they would leave it alone so that way we won't have to go through all these things in reference to making adjustments. But since they have not, we have to do something. You know, we can either continue with what we've been doing for the last 50 plus years, or we can make some adjustments. Okay. So here is where I want to start, is to start to adjust your sleep gradually. So we have, you know, what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is one of the times. So we have 5 days to make these adjustments. So what I want you to do is I want you to start on today. Okay, start making the changes on today. Don't wait until Sunday to start making the changes. So start working on going to bed and waking up at least 15 to 30 minutes earlier or later, depending on, us falling back. So I would say start going to bed at least 15 to 30 minutes earlier, starting on tonight. Start that tonight. Go to bed 15 to 30 minutes earlier. This is going to help you so that when the time changes, that your body will be able to make the adjustments to that. So this is like a gradual shift, because what you want to do is you want it to be gradual so that your body can adjust more easily in making the change and not having to do it all at once. Okay, because our bodies will have to adjust to the time change. So if you can start it early, I'm encouraging you to start with 15 to 30 minutes earlier over the next 4 to 5 days, so that your body will be able to adjust easier. Okay, this is basically a gentle shift, okay, where your body will be able to gradually get into the mode of going to bed earlier and then waking up earlier as well. So, and let me say this, especially for people that are older, this 50 and older, that is really important for us to make that adjustment early, not wait until Sunday. I can't stress that enough. So here's where you should start with that. And I always recommend this when it comes to sleep. This is one of the things that's really important. You got to unplug, okay? Because if you're laying down with the concerns of the day, all the things that you did, all the things that you didn't do, all the things that you need to do, it's going to be more difficult for you to fall asleep. So I call it unplugging. Wind down time, if you will. So what you need to do is to establish a calming period before it's time for you to go to bed. So what I recommend is I tell people to an hour to 45 minutes before your bedtime, and you should always have a bedtime, okay? Have a bedtime, but before your bedtime, and 45 minutes to 1 hour before your bedtime, start to create a routine where you're relaxing your mind and you're relaxing your body, so that way you can start to be able to get better quality sleep, okay? So if you take 45 minutes to an hour to unwind and unplug, you can, read, you can pray, you can meditate, you can do some deep breathing, you can do some light stretching, anything that's going to get you in the mode of relaxation. That is the most important thing. So wind down time is important. 45 minutes to an hour before your bedtime, okay? Now, this will have to be intentional. Okay, you may have to set an alarm just to remind you, I got to shut everything down. Okay, me personally, I don't get on the phone. I don't have any conversations with anyone that's going to get me excited or that's going to get my mind racing, because it's more difficult to go to sleep. And then you'll get in bed and you want to go to sleep, but you got all this stuff on your mind, and then you start to get angry because you can't fall asleep. And that happens because it has happened to me before. And once you get angry because you can't fall asleep, then it's even more difficult, because now you got all this stuff on your mind. You're angry because you can't fall asleep. So the wind down period is very, 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 and add 10 more thousand to that, very important. Okay, so that's why I recommend that you take 45 minutes to an hour to spend time unwinding. You got to have that time to unwind, okay? That's really important, because what you will find is that your quality of sleep will be much better. You will not wake up tired and exhausted. You will feel very refreshed and ready for your day, okay? Now, here's another thing that's important in reference to the time change. Getting morning sunlight, okay? Now, I know most people, they get up and they, it's the rush of the day. They don't have time to sit down in the sunlight and meditate and do some deep breathing and things of that nature. But it says something about the natural light. It's a powerful cure for regulating our internal clock, our circadian clock that's inside of our bodies. After the time changes, we should expose ourselves to the morning sunlight, because it helps us to reset our circadian rhythm. Okay, so that's why natural sunlight in the morning is important, because this natural sunlight is a powerful cure in helping us to regulate our internal clock. So when you get up earlier, like 15 to 30 minutes earlier, you get yourself ready. And then before you get busy with your day, whether you work from home or you have to commute, try to spend at least 10 to 15. If you can do 20 minutes in the sunlight, then yes, expose yourself to the sunlight. so that way it will help you to reset your circadian rhythm. Sunlight is good for your body. It does help you to cure, so many other things. So natural sunlight is a powerful cure in resetting your circadian rhythm. Okay, that's the other thing that we need to do. Okay, here's another thing that we need to focus on, because I used to do this and I have limited it very, very, down to a science here. Limit your screen time in the evenings, okay? Because what you're doing is you're reducing the exposure of the screen of the phone, the phone, your computer, your TV, especially in the evening. What it does is it helps you to you're just not exposing yourself to the rays that's coming from that, which actually keeps you up. The blue light from that can interfere with your melatonin, and that is what we need to help us to sleep. It produces basically like a sleep aid. Okay, so reduce your exposure to your cell phone, to the computer, to your TV time in the evenings, because it will help you to be able to produce more melatonin, which is helpful to help you to fall asleep, to stay asleep, and to get better rest at night. Okay, limiting that technology, I'm telling you, it will be a plus. An hour before you get ready to go to bed, that should be a part of your wind down time. During your wind down time, do not get on the phone, turn off the TV. Just do not expose yourself to that, to the screen time, okay? Substitute it with something else, whether it's mindful meditation or journaling, deep breathing, exercise. What you want to do is to relax your mind and your body so that you can prepare for rest, okay? Rest is important for our bodies. Sleep is so important for our bodies because it actually allows our bodies to reset itself, okay? So what you have to do is create a tech-free zone, okay? And so I recommend that you don't have any of that in your space during the evening time when it's time for you to adjust your wind down time, okay? Here's another thing that you should adjust is your meal time. If possible, adjust your meal times by 15 to 30 minutes in the day that's leading up to the time change. Eating consistent in the time frames regulates your body to a natural rhythm. Okay, so adjusting your meal times 15 to 30 minutes before than what you usually do. So let's say you usually eat dinner at 6. So try to adjust it, even if it's only 15 minutes. Adjust it so instead of eating at 6, then eat at 5:45. If you can eat at 5:30, that's all the better, okay? But adjust your meal times 15 to 30 minutes prior to, your regular time, okay? Because adjusting your meals encourages you to, when you're eating dinner earlier each day, it leads up to the change, which creates a healthy balance. Okay, and we need that. It's important, especially if we're eating rich nutrient foods to support our sleep. The magnesium that's found in the green leafy foods, the nuts, that's where we get our magnesium from. Magnesium is actually a great sleep aid. Okay, I don't know if you know that or not, but magnesium is great. So if you're eating nuts, because I just had a real habit of grabbing a handful of peanuts before during my wind down time, I would eat peanuts. So nuts and green leafy vegetables are definitely a good fit for you to help you with your wind down time when you eat earlier. Okay, so yes. So here's another thing that you need to do. You need to optimize your sleep environment. Okay, now for me, I like my room cool and I like it dark. I even sleep with my, I call them shutters. I sleep with my mask on because I want to have the darkness. And I don't know what it is about the eyes, my eyes being covered, but it helps me to fall asleep more quickly and I stay asleep all night. except for when I have to get up to go to the bathroom. And we're going to talk about that too, because you need to make sure that you don't drink any water after 6 p.m. or any fluids for that matter after 6 p.m. Because if you're like me, you will be up going to the bathroom 2 or 3 times in the evening, interrupting your sleep pattern. So I highly recommend that by 6 o'clock when you have your meal, if you're eating at 6 p.m., let that be the last fluids that you take in for the evening, because it will keep you up at night and it will interrupt your sleep. So when it comes to the sleep environment, I definitely like my room dark and cool, even in the wintertime. I don't have the air on. I just like to have it at a certain temperature. So that way it just helps me to sleep better and more comfortable, And of course, if you are menopausal like myself, you will find that you'll have less night sweats when your room is cooler. Okay, so that's another tip. If your room is cool, it will definitely keep you and prevent you from having so many night sweats in the evening. Make it dark, cool, and quiet. Okay, consider to black out, black curtains if you have to sleep with earplugs in. I don't have to do that. It's really quiet in my area, so I don't have to worry about the noise or anything like that. But prioritize your quality of sleep. Okay. Comfort matters. It really does. And that's the reason why it's important to optimize your environment. Okay. A comfortable pillow, supportive mattress, and a quiet space. Those things are important. Okay. The comfort level can directly impact your rest and your rejuvenation. Okay. And again, the calming rituals that promote the idea of incorporating soul smoothing activities like aromatherapy or playing calming music before you get ready to go to bed. I also have produced a audio with calming music and my voice that walks you through the step of relaxing your mind, relaxing your body, relaxing your scalp and your face, and it goes all the way down to your toes. And by the time it gets to your feet, you're probably already asleep. I mean, I've never really made it to my feet. So this relaxation audio that I have is absolutely amazing. I can almost guarantee you that if you use this every night, you will find a difference in your quality of sleep and how fast you will fall asleep if you use it before bedtime. Okay. Avoid heavy metals like caffeine late in the day. Okay. Heavy meals late in the day is a no-no. Caffeine late in the day is a no-no. Caffeine is a large part of keeping you awake. Don't drink Mountain Dews, any Coke, any type of product that is going to keep you up that has a large amount of caffeine before bedtime will disrupt your sleep, even sugar. That's why you shouldn't give your children or grandchildren anything that has sugar in it before bedtime, because they will be bouncing off the walls and you're ready to get in the corner and go to sleep and you're wondering why they are bouncing off the walls. So no caffeine for you and no sugar for your kids or your grandkids, because it does interrupt your sleep. It really does. So, and remember this, gentle movement throughout the day. Okay. I would highly recommend that you stay active. Physical activity helps to regulate your sleep patterns. Okay. It's a part of the 4 pillars, and I can never ever get away. Well, actually 6 pillars, but the 4 pillars: the water, the sleep, the exercise, and what we eat. Those 4 pillars are what keeps us healthy and keeps our bodies healthy and keep us in a pattern. Okay. Physical activity helps to regulate our sleep patterns. Okay. But we should avoid, and I do not exercise in the evening because it gets me pumped up. I exercise first thing in the morning because it helps me throughout my day. I don't recommend that you do any strenuous exercise close to bedtime. Now, a little stretching, a little deep breathing, that stuff is good. Something like yoga, tai chi, which will help promote your mental and your physical balance. So I would recommend something like that, something with slow, continuous movements, but nothing that's going to be strenuous, because I'm going to tell you, it will keep you up. And that's just from personal experience. So, if you do that and stay consistent, then you will definitely see the change. So stick with the regular schedule after the time change, even on the weekends, okay? Not just Monday through Friday. Stick with getting up 15 to 30 minutes early. Stick with going to bed 15 to 30 minutes early, because if you stay consistent with that, your body will adjust more quickly. Okay, that is what you need to do. Routine is key. I encourage you to stay consistent with that, even on the weekends. Okay, maintaining consistency with your wake up and your bedtime schedule, even on the weekends, routine will help you to maintain a healthy body rhythm. Okay, which is crucial for long-term well-being, especially after 50. Okay, again, regular exercise, physical activity helps to improve your sleep. It resets your internal clock, especially exercise early in the day, which is what I do. I highly recommend that you start to get some type of physical activity in early in the day. Change your routine before the time goes back. It's that time of the year where it's time to fall back. I highly recommend that you start with 15 to 30 minutes before your bedtime every night going forward this week, so that when Sunday rolls around, your body will at least have some adjustments. So that's what I have for you today. I hope this episode has added some value to your life. Thank you for joining me here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. But before I get out of here, as usual, I got to give a shout out to my listeners here in the United States, Canada, Australia, Russia Federation, China, Mexico, Belgium, Ireland, South Africa, Brazil, Nigeria, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Bangladesh, Ukraine, Kuwait, India, Hong Kong, Dominican Republic, and the Philippines. Hey, I appreciate my listening audience. The audience is continuing to grow. More countries are listening in and tuning in, and I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. If this podcast has been a benefit to you, please subscribe and follow me. Write me a review, and every time I drop a new episode, you will be the first one to get it. Hey, and share this with someone. Share it with someone else who this may be a benefit to as well. I appreciate you all, and remember, knowledge applied is power. This is Master Coach G, and I will see you on the next level.